Okay, so you're a developer, you're building in the Google and Firebase world, and it can feel like a bit of a maze, right? There are just so many options for getting your app online. But don't worry, that's what we're here for. We're going to give you the map to navigate it all. I mean, this is the classic question, isn't it? You've poured all this time and energy into building something great. The code is done, it looks perfect. But that last step, putting it out there for the world, that's a huge deal. Where your app lives really matters for performance, for scalability, and let's be honest, for your own sanity. You've probably heard these three names tossed around. These are the heavy hitters we're going to look at today. Each one is a tool for a very specific job. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which one to grab from your toolbox for whatever it is you're building. All right, let's start at the very beginning with the foundation. For a ton of developers, this is ground zero. This is where your journey into Google's hosting world really begins, with the absolute workhorse for static stuff, Firebase Hosting. So what is Firebase Hosting really? Well, it's built for two things, being really fast and being really simple. Think of it as the perfect launchpad for sites that are basically just a collection of files. Your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We're talking landing pages, portfolios, or your classic single-page apps. Its whole job is to get those files to your users at lightning speed, using a global CDN so the content is always served from somewhere close to them. And this slide right here, this is why people absolutely love it. I mean, check out how easy this is. Once you've got the Firebase command line tool installed, getting your site live is literally just two commands in your terminal. You initialize it, you deploy it. Boom, that's it. You're on the web. It's kind of wild. And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from a developer on Stack Overflow just nails the simplicity. There's no complicated process for updates. Nope. You just change your files on your computer and run that same exact deploy command again. Firebase just handles it. And you get all this awesome stuff right out of the box. Automatic security with SSL certificates? Check. That incredible speed from the global CDN? Check. And get this, one-click rollbacks. So if you ever push a bad update, you can just rewind to the previous version with a single click. It's a lifesaver. And of course, you can connect your own custom domain. It's just a fantastic, cost-effective place to start. But, okay, a static site is great, but what happens when your app needs to, think? When it needs a brain to handle logic, process data, or talk to other services? Well, that's the next level. This is how pretty much every project grows, right? Your simple landing page suddenly needs a contact form that actually works, or your cool single-page app needs to pull in data that's specific to each user. At this point, just serving up static files isn't going to cut it anymore. So let's build a little mental model here. Firebase Hosting is still your foundation. Think of it as the front door of your application. It's what your users see first. It serves them the interface, the welcome mat, all the stuff they can see and click on. And if hosting is the front door, then Cloud Run is the engine room. It's the powerful beast in the back doing all the heavy lifting. When a request comes to the front door that it can't handle alone, like an API call, it passes it back to the engine room to take care of business. Now, the magic word with Cloud Run is containerized. You basically bundle up your backend code, doesn't matter if it's in Node.js, Python, Go, whatever you want, into a neat little package called a container. You hand that to Cloud Run, and it just handles the rest. And here's the really cool part, it scales to zero. That means if nobody is using your app, you're not paying for anything. It literally turns off. The second a request comes in, it spins up instantly. It's so efficient. Okay, so we've covered static sites, and we've covered adding a separate backend. But there's this third category that's become super popular, modern web apps that kind of blur the line between the front end and the back end. And this is exactly where app hosting comes into play. Yeah, there's been a huge shift in web development. Frameworks like Next.js and Angular do something really clever. Instead of just sending an empty HTML file to the browser to figure out, they actually build the page on the server first. This technique is called server-side rendering, or SSR. And why do they do that? Well, with SSR, you really get the best of both worlds. You get that fast, interactive experience of a single-page app, but you also get a fully formed HTML page that loads instantly and is perfectly optimized for search engines. The only challenge? You need a server that's smart enough to do all that rendering work. And that is precisely the problem app hosting was built to solve. It's not a replacement for the original Firebase hosting. It's a specialized tool for this exact job. It takes your Next.js or Angular app and just manages the entire stack for you. The static files, the server rendering, the whole shebang, all in one unified package. So this is the big question for a lot of developers right now. We've got two products, both with hosting in the name. When do you use which one? Let's break it down head to head. This comparison table from the docs really tells the whole story. You can see right away that app hosting is built for SSR. It's not experimental, it's the real deal. And look at the request timeout, 5 whole minutes versus just 1. That's critical for complex server tasks. Plus, it has continuous deployment built right in, and it uses a cloud build process so you know that what you test is exactly what you deploy. No more "it worked on my machine" excuses. So let's just boil it all down. It's actually pretty simple. Use the classic Firebase hosting for your static sites and single-page apps where the front end and back end are totally separate. It's perfect for that. But if you're building with a modern SSR framework like Next.js and you want that seamless, all-in-one experience, app hosting is absolutely the way to go. It's the easy button. Now, no matter which path you choose, the way we develop today is all about automation. So let's quickly walk through what that modern workflow actually looks like, from writing code to getting it live for your users. It all starts right here. You fix a bug, you build a new feature. But instead of deploying it directly, you open a pull request on GitHub. This is the standard first step where you say, "Hey team, take a look at my new code." And this is where the magic happens. A GitHub action automatically kicks in, it takes your changes, builds a complete version of your site, and deploys it to a special temporary URL. Think about that. You got a live, shareable link that your whole team can use to test the new feature before it ever touches your main site. And finally, once everyone's given the thumbs up, you just merge the pull request. That one click triggers another automated action that takes those exact changes and pushes them out to production. It's safe, it's repeatable, and it is an incredibly efficient way to work. So there you have it. Firebase hosting for that static simplicity, Cloud Run for when you need some serious backend power, and app hosting for those modern, all-in-one SSR frameworks. You have the map, you know how to get through the maze. The only question left is, what amazing thing are you going to build next?